Jackson County legislator Sean Smith is hoping that he can end that reign for Emanuel Cleaver, as he announced last night that he is running in Missouri's 5th Congressional District. And Sean Smith now joins us on KCMO Talk Radio after that announcement last night. Sean, great to have you on. Good morning. Why are you running against Emanuel Cleaver?
Good morning, Pete. So I will say the most important thing that I'm running based upon is what I perceive to be economic policies that have just decimated every family throughout our region. It's between what I've lived with this property tax reassessment debacle and what that's meant to budgets, and what I've watched with inflation and other policies that have just caused costs to skyrocket. I just feel like I was obligated to jump in and try to be one more vote for rational economic policies at the federal level.
What is, for people that don't know your background, Sean Smith, they know you're a Jackson County legislator, but before that, what is your background that makes you think you're ready for a position like this in Congress?
Yeah, I've spent 25 years helping some of the biggest companies in the world perfect their finance and technology systems. I really think that adding some people that are more finance and tech literate in Congress is also a great help. And coming out of private industry, I'll say that having the contrast between that and government, we need a little bit of private company rationale inserted into our federal government. And I'm hoping to do that.
Now, when you look at Emanuel Cleaver, the success that he has had, he's won a lot of his races by 15 to 20 percentage points in general elections over Republicans. And, this district hasn't had a Republican since 1946. So why now?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, right? I will tell you that I'm the first person that's been in elected office and had an opportunity to run against Emanuel Cleaver. And this is assuming that Emanuel Cleaver chooses to run again. I could be running against somebody different. We'll see. I think that what I've heard from taxpayers and citizens throughout this whole area is that enough is enough. And that isn't necessarily just about Emanuel Cleaver. It's about policies that are just causing people to feel like they can't get their head above water. And I hear it over and over again. We saw it with the Jackson County use tax vote when voters simply said enough is enough. And here we are. And I think it's time that people are ready for a change. And my opportunity as a existing elected official really puts me out there in a way that my predecessors who have run against Cleaver have not had that same experience and the same opportunity for voters to see who they are. In my role, I've just had great feedback from people because I'm helping anybody and everybody that needs help. It doesn't matter to me what party they're in, what part of the county they're in. If I could help them, I'm going to help them.
This district also changed, for people that don't know, last year when the districts were redrawn in Missouri. So now the easternmost parts of Jackson County are no longer in this 5th district, which Emanuel Cleaver represents. And now the district includes a sliver of Clay County. And some people would look at that and say, this district is even more blue. So what kind of campaign do you run? Because you are going to have to win over moderate Democrats to have any chance in this race.
Absolutely, Pete. And I think that really goes back to what I was just talking about. The idea that people are really hungry for people in elected office to simply look out for their best interests. I plan to avoid some of the divisive stuff that tends to be cannon fodder for these elections. We need people that can stand in the middle, in the aisle, so to speak, rather than on one side of the aisle or the other, and work with everybody, find solutions to problems that seem impossible and intractable. Mm-hmm. My career in the software business tells me that we can do astonishing things. When I look at medical advancements and what's happening, there's just so much opportunity for us to focus on real solutions instead of the, frankly, political economy that seeks to divide us and then exploit that because it's a huge market, right, to keep us in separate camps all the time. That's going to continue. I can't change that, but I can at least be one voice that wants to look for those common solutions that are in the middle that people want and need.
Sean Smith is a Jackson County legislator. He announced last night he is running for Congress against Emanuel Cleaver in the 5th Congressional District. But as you noted, maybe it's not Emanuel Cleaver. Do you know something we don't? Is Emanuel Cleaver not going to be on the ballot potentially if you are the Republican nominee next year, Sean?
I can't speak for Mr. Cleaver. Filing isn't until February. I will say that, he's been in a long time, and certainly amongst Democrats, I do hear other people talking about who should run. If Emanuel Cleaver, as a 10-term sitting U.S. congressman, has people in his own party asking who should be next, and when they mean they're talking about 2024, that tells me that some folks that are closer to him than I am certainly think it's a possibility that he might be ready to hang it up. But no, I don't have any specific knowledge.
Well, Emanuel Cleaver's 79 in Congress. He's just hitting his stride. He's just getting going. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. You're a much younger man. Are you going to play that card at all, getting some young blood into Congress?
I don't necessarily think I need to call it out. At the end of the day, I think that my energy that people see from me every day while I'm working for them is what's going to let them know that I'm not the same as Emanuel Cleaver in terms of age and vibrancy. So,
well, gotcha. Well, before we let you go, I do want to ask you just for an update on the Royals and Chiefs. We had you on about a week and a half ago to talk about it. Where do things stand? Of course, the deadline for having something on the April ballot for the Chiefs and the Royals is coming up in mid-January. I know there's a town hall tonight with one of your colleagues, Manny Abarca. Are we any closer to getting something on the ballot over the last week and a half since you and I last spoke?
Yeah, I will say that 8 days ago, last Monday, we had a closed session meeting that included the teams. That also included some updates from the administration on how the negotiations are going. I walked away from that conversation much more optimistic about the progress that we had made than I was before. So yes, we are closer. Sometimes this process feels a little bit like 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But the bottom line is I think we are getting closer to putting this issue in front of voters. And one of the concerns I continue to express is whether or not the voters like the plans that the teams have or know enough about them to approve that tax extension. Last thing we want to do is put something on the ballot that the voters reject and then opens up the market, so to speak, for the teams. We have to make sure that we put something on the ballot that voters will embrace. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the work that we're doing.
Well, keep it up on that front. We'll be following along with this congressional campaign, Sean Smith, and we appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Pete. Have a great day.
You as well. Sean Smith, good to have him on KCMO Talk Radio.